Welcome back to Not Theoretical. I'm Lena.
And I'm Casey.
So, Casey, remember when we talked about building the greenhouse in our last episode? Psychological safety, ensemble thinking, yes, and that was setting the stage.
Now it's time for the show and the slip-ups, the solos, the standing ovations, and the stumbles. Because this episode is all about what it takes to grow a truly collaborative culture.
If you're someone who dreams big but gets stuck turning ideas into action, or if you work with someone like that, this one's for you. We're diving into 3 active skills: failing smart, leading dynamically, and listening like your collaboration depends on it. Because it does.
All right, Lena, let's start with the F word.
Failure, the real F word of innovation. But instead of being something to avoid, we're learning to treat it like what it really is: data.
Think of a scientist hunting for a breakthrough. They run dozens of small experiments, and most of them don't work. But each one teaches them something vital.
Right. And in a team, this means running short sprints with learning goals, not just performance metrics. A new app feature flops? That's not a failure. It's feedback.
I love the idea of noble failures, those well-designed flops that save a ton of time in the long run.
And how you respond is everything. One leader opened a post-mortem with a slide that literally said, "The noble failure of Project Swift." Instead of blame, she asked, "What did we learn?"
That reframe unlocks innovation. Because when people aren't afraid to be wrong, they're way more likely to try something bold.
So true. If you're not failing, you're probably not really trying anything new.
All right, leadership shake-up time.
In the old model, leadership is fixed. It's your title, your role. But dynamic leadership says, lead when it matters, follow when it doesn't.
Like a flock of migrating geese. The lead goose doesn't stay out front the whole way. They rotate based on energy and direction.
There was this team whose prototype got totally rejected by a client. Instead of pushing harder, the official team lead said, "I'm stepping back. Anya, you've had a different vision. Take the lead."
That moment? That's collaboration in action. He didn't abdicate, he recalibrated.
And what's powerful is it wasn't about who had the title. It was about who had the insight for that moment. Want more of that? Start asking, not telling. What am I missing? Is a leadership move that clears the way for others to step up.
Especially the quiet voices, amplifying them, saying, "That's a great point. Can you build on it?" That can shift the whole dynamic.
And when you do step back, do it visibly. Say the words. It gives permission for others to shine.
Okay, this next one might be the hardest of the 3. Real listening.
As in, not just waiting for your turn to talk. Think of a sound engineer at a concert. They're not just hearing a wall of noise, they're adjusting levels for each instrument. That's how we should be listening. Deeply, attentively, adjusting based on what we're actually hearing.
A friend shared this with me recently. Someone was venting about not feeling appreciated at work. And instead of offering fixes, their friend just listened, fully, then asked, "What does appreciation look like to you?" Game-changing question. That pause helped the speaker uncover the real need, which wasn't quit your job. It was, "I just want to be seen."
Listening like that builds trust. And without trust, none of the other things we've talked about, failing, leading, can work.
So if you want to start somewhere today, start by listening better. Turn your phone face down, make eye contact, and pause before responding. Because to be interesting,
Be interested.
You know, when I look at these 3 together, failing fast, leading dynamically, and listening deeply, it's like they form a triangle.
Totally, Casey. You can't fail smart without safety. You can't hand off leadership unless you're really listening. And you can't listen unless there's trust.
Collaboration isn't just chemistry, it's choreography. It's active, intentional, messy, and worth it.
So, what's one experiment your team could run this week where success isn't the goal? Learning is?
Want to dive deeper? Head over to the Not Theoretical Substack for today's companion article.
We've got more real-world examples, a visual summary, and 3 powerful tools: the Noble Failure Toolkit, a dynamic leadership signal sheet, and an active listening mini-course.
They're all designed to help you build fearless collaboration, one conversation at a time.
Our next episode starts a new mini-series, Demystifying the Digital Economy.
We're going beyond Bitcoin to explore how blockchain is already transforming supply chains, voting systems, and more.
If you're curious but confused about crypto, this one's for you.
That's our discussion for today. Thanks for tuning in to Not Theoretical.
Until next time, keep showing up even when you're not sure how it'll turn out.